All right. Uh, yeah. Today there ain't gonna be no Saturday workout. I am not. I'm just. There's no way. I don't have any desire. I tried. I went down there and I was trying to force. Yep. I want to do this and then I want to do that, and I don't have nothing. I got nothing. The last 2 days at work, I got the allergies, and I just kind of feel just run down. And yeah, I mean, hell, I'm on, what is this? This is going to be like week 43. And even though I did take deloads, I've been going for 43 fucking weeks. I've been going for almost a year working out. Plus, since the beginning of the year, we've been on 50-hour weeks. And the last 2 days, 20 friggin' hours of me just pushing myself through a 10-hour day. Two 10-hour days. And I just don't have anything today at all. Today we got a 3-day weekend. This is Memorial Day weekend. And the unfortunate thing about this is every holiday you got to have a little picnic. You got to have a get together on a holiday because we're all conditioned for that. When I got 3 days that I can get shit done. Now, today, having said that, is going to be a rest day because of the way I feel. My yard work, I got most of it done. And we had cool weather to the point where it was down in the mid 40s in the morning, and the grass has not grown. All I need to do is get on the rider and ride around, and I'm thinking of doing that maybe Monday because it's supposed to be nice on Monday. Well, it's going to be nice all weekend. Today I got to take trash out. And I'll tell you what, my house, maybe what I'll do today is I will try to clean up a little bit because I used to be, for years, for decades, I was a complete slob, okay? And then I started looking, do some introspection and trying to figure out why am I the way I am because I was always just a lump. And I still am a lump. Even though I got a YouTube channel and all that, I'm a lump because it's my life is just taken up by work, 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 work. We don't. You know, we have no lives. The only people that have lives are the people that have went out of their way to get out of their comfort zones and have a life. And I'm actually going through a course right now where I'm hoping that something fucking clicks and something breaks because, I mean, and even though, even having said that, I did get out of it, and the first thing I did was I cleaned my house. And the first step in cleaning my house was cleaning my bedroom. You know how long that took? It took 9 hours to clean my bedroom. That's how dirty that fucking thing was. It was just packed full of shit. The bed was all, oh my God, hell, that bed was already fucked up. The springs were out. I had to lay certain ways because of this. That mindset. That's my mindset throughout most of my life. And it's comfort zones that we get in. We get in these comfort zones that are not comfort. Okay? They do not add to our life. They take away from it. They're detrimental. They destroy us. And that's something that I'm trying to work on. And it ain't easy after decades of the conditioning of being just a lump. Uh, what do I do? 50-hour week in a founder. I hate the job. I hate it with a passion. Okay. I got a lot of yard work and a lot of work around here. The money, I'd love to have the money in order to do a lot of the shit that I want to do. I would do it. Okay. I'd hire people to do some of it because putting a deck on the back, you know, I'll hire somebody to do that. I'm not really, when it comes to carpentry and and stuff like that. I can do carpentry. I paneled this room, but another thing about me is when I was growing up, I was under a tyrannical father who had a low self esteem, and he was the type of his low self esteem was to try to control everybody else. And for most of my life, young life, he had control of me and he moved me here, there, and everywhere. And he wasn't happy at all. And I never did anything right. And I, from a young age, just became I can't do anything and I'm not worth anything. And when I did have dreams, I never went and tried to live out them dreams. I mostly just waited for someone else like him or whatever to go, well, you ought to do this. And then I went and I did that. And then, of course, when you got organized religion, you got Christianity, which was my organized religion bullshit I was in. And then you pray to this sky fairy, and the sky fairy answers. Well, I prayed, and I never seemed to get an answer. So to me, everything was no. Well, why did I? Well, first off, I don't believe in that God. I believe there's a God, but I don't believe in that God. I believe that that whole thing was just man made bullshit to get more control. Organized religion is another form of government. And if you're a Christian, and I think there's one Christian that watches this, you're going to get a little butt hurt, and then you're going to have a comment and try to go, well, you know what, you ought to know. No, I ain't going to do it. I got no respect for that. I mean, if you would realize how little respect I have for that bullshit, I consider any male that adheres to any, like Christianity, to be a bitch. But anyway, that I pray, and of course, no would be the answer. That's well, why? I conditioned myself for no. Now, are there opportunities? Yes, there are opportunities. And even though I see that there are opportunities, conditioning myself over the that long period of time, I'm trying to break out of this. Well, that ain't an opportunity for me. That's an opportunity for you. No, that's bullshit. So I'm going through this course right now to try to break free of some of this crap. But anyway, uh, the work, I tell you, I want to get out of that so bad. I'm 58. I've been there for 31 years. I mean, I feel like banging my head off the fucking table just saying that. And then this year, uh, because I've been there 31 years, they told the people, hey, go give Dave a hey, way to go there, Dave. No, not way to go. It's wage slavery. You're a wage slave too. I had a guy come over that I don't really like because he's a one of them big, chubby, effeminate little guys who's always sucking up to the boss. And he came over and wanted to bump my fist, and I kind of sat there for a while. And I thought I don't really know how to deal with that shit. If I don't like you, I would just rather say, why don't you fuck the hell off? But of course, nowadays with they got human resources. Well, I don't know why you had to say that to him. And it's like, get the, fuck you. I ought to go out and smack the shit out of both of you now. But yeah, he had a bump fist because of that. And I was like, man, this is it was so humiliating to me. Sitting there with this, I'm here 31 fucking years and I wanted to leave this place within the first month that I started here. But that is the mindset that I had. See, the comfort zone. The job's a comfort zone, even though it ain't comfortable. Now, the work I have to do here, I love doing that work. If I had the time and the money, I would learn shit. I don't know if I say I'd find somebody to help me, that's another tough thing about me. Because growing up with that low self esteem, I'm a no, 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 I'll do it myself. I can do it myself. I'll do it myself, which in some instances is good, but in others is not so good. Okay? I put a roof on myself. Okay? And I ended up, uh, after a little while, I didn't seal it right and it started leaking. But the other problem I had was I did not use knee pads. And if anybody watching this ever, if you put roofs on, you know that uh, kneeling down on a roof, for how many hours a day that you got to do it. And I worked on it for 2 fucking days. I think both of them were like 9 hours. So I got nerve pain in my knees to where for a while I could not even kneel down on a pillow. Yeah, it was that bad. I'd kneel down on I'd try to put a pillow down and be like, fuck that, man. I mean, that was some painful shit. Your damn knees, huh? I got an idea. Let's create this human being and then let's give him these areas on his body that just hurt like fucking hell. Even the slightest little fucking bump will hurt like hell. That's a good idea. Yeah, you're an asswipe. But anyway, I love that kind of work. That kind of work is great. I like the yard work that I do. But I tell you what, with the job, that yard work, man, last Sunday, I had to do mowing, push mowing, and I was not into it at all. Now, I like drinking beer, and most of the time when I drink beer, I'm not doing anything. I don't need alcohol to help me do shit, but sometimes I do. I needed to go get beer because I tried to coffee myself up. I tried to stimulate myself, and that did nothing. So I went to the beer distributor and I got a case of friggin' Yingling Lager, and drank a couple of them beers and I went out, and that barely got me going. But it got me going enough to keep going. And it was I did a bit of this, then I stopped. Then I did that part, then I stopped. Then I did this part. I took like 3 or 4 breaks in a half an hour. Well, it should take me just a half an hour to do that. But I like doing the yard work. I like getting it up. I want to fix a house up inside and out so that eventually I can get out of here because what the fuck, man? Almost $6,000 in tax a year, and I know there are people out there that pay more. I saw where a guy did some renovations to his house and his property tax went up like 75% more. Or I don't know what it was. It was like 15,000 a year, which is nuts. $15,000 in what? Tax? That's extortion. And it went up to like 90,000 a year. I mean, what the fuck? That's 75%. That's way over 75%. That would be like what, 200? I don't know what the fuck, 300, 100, 500%. Fucking A, man. That's a government. Oh, you did renovations and you want to improve your property? Well, now we need to take more tax. Go fuck yourself, government, and fuck you dead. I hate government. I have no respect for a statist. Mr. I gotta go vote. No, you don't. It's like during COVID. Mass non-compliance would have shut it the fuck down. That would have been the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We would have flattened it quickly. Oh, okay, I guess all you people. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Fuck the government. Fuck the state. Fuck, fuck, fuck you. Okay? And that's another thing. you know, if I want to do anything now, there are areas in this friggin' country and maybe in other countries where here in my area, all you need, this damn allergy and these, coffee. I love coffee, but you have allergies, okay, and you drink, or even like during the wintertime. For some reason, the mucus just runs and runs, and then you drink coffee, and man, it runs like crazy. It's right here in my damn throat, trying to gag me. you know, what a great design we are, huh? Way to go, jerk. Anyway, I look at it this way. We're the ones who got to overcome all the bullshit that uh, happens to us physically, okay, and outside there, whatever's in inside or outside, the interior and the exterior, we got to deal with it. So, who are the gods? We're the gods. If you're sitting on your ass on your little throne, if you exist, and I don't, like I said, I don't believe in that God. You're not a god. You're a bitch. But anyway, the mucus. Uh, what the hell was I talking about? That's another thing. My brain is kind of with the allergy. My brain, yeah, I have this lethargic feeling that is just on me constantly now. But anyway, talking about the state, if you live in an area like I live in, where it's okay, the exterior of your property, you need to get a permit. I even heard that we might need to get a permit to put like a flagpole up. Every little thing. And people are like, well, that's the government. No, that's not the way you should think. You should be sitting there going, boy, I hate these people. All right? And I go, where do they live? Where do they live? Where's their address? Okay, let me write that down. Okay. Do they have an alarm system? What kind of windows do they have? Where do they shop? Huh? Where do they work? I know where the politician works, but what? wh- You know, I need to know that. How many rooms are in the house? Do they have a basement? Are there any woods in the area? Because I'm going to need woods. Because I'm going to need to take them out in the woods when it's like 20 degrees, time to a tree, and just throw water on them and go, I'll be back in like 3, 4 hours, okay? No, 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 I'll be back. Anyway, I need a permit to build on the outside of my property. There are areas where you need a permit in both for your outside and your inside. And then there are idiots out there who must not realize that they're under tyranny with just the friggin' government we have. And then what do? They move into a homeowners association controlled area. Now, you not only have the federal, state, and local government that controls your ass, you got these little fuckers who now are your government. You can't park that in your driveway, and your grass is this much higher than it should be because I was out there with a tape measure. Holy shit. Now I'll bury you in the yard, and that area is going to grow a lot higher than the other areas. Okay? But yeah, but I do a hell of a lot of shit. But I admit, I come home and on the weekends and all that, and I got my weightlifting. I don't feel like doing anything most of the time. I'm tired, I'm beat up, but I go out and I do it. And finally, I hit this point. Now, having said that, hate the job, love the work around the house, and I love weightlifting. The only thing that's kept me sane has been weightlifting. Nothing else, you know? So, but anyway, today is going to be a rest day. And tomorrow, okay? And tomorrow, I'm going to get up and I'm going to hit them fucking weights. And then what I'm going to do is Tuesday and Thursday will be the other 2 days this week. Yeah, okay. Now the snot stopped. Now I got that tightness coming in. You know, it's like, all right, we got the snot. Okay, we did that for a while. Now what we're gonna do is just make him kind of tight on his chest so he coughs. Okay, you know, check. It's like, yeah, but anyway, yeah, something's got to give. But here's the thing: my conditioning has really fucked me. That's why I'm taking this course, but I don't have any hope because I know who the fuck I'm dealing with here. I am I I am a glutton for punishment. uh, my young life, I because of all the emotional and mental abuse. Now, when I went to school, my cousin, said, "You got in a lot of fights in school." Well, I had no choice. And my dad was, when you go to school, I don't want you fighting. Well, maybe you shouldn't dress me like a fucking retard. And, the way you people act, and I acted like a clown and a nice guy. Well, I was a loser. So I got picked on a lot and I got in a lot of fights. And when I remember that, I like that. Okay. Society needs to get back to honor. We need to get back to honor to where you fuck with me or I fuck with you, and you look at me and go, "Me and you outside." And you don't have any choice because now everybody's conditioned to turn and look at you and go, "Is this guy going to be a bitch or is he going to man up and go outside?" And you're like, I forgot. I don't care what you forgot. We're walking outside now, me and you. And after I'm done, I'm going to walk back in and you're going to crawl back in. Or you're going to walk back in and I'm going to crawl back in. Yeah. Because I saw this a number of times with people going, "Man, what a rude society, manners." Now, I try to have good manners, even though, most of the time, if I'm tired, I'm in an irritable mood. So I'm in an irritable, grouchy mood most of the time. But I try to have good manners. But, people, I mean, back here in the rural area, you have a better chance, I think, of having people that have better manners. If you're in a city, you're going to meet a lot of people that are just rude. Okay. I mean, but yeah, I think we need to get back to an honor society. That'll make everybody, and I'm talking males, that because I think about that now. I think about if I do this to somebody, I'm going to get punched in the mouth. Now, will I? Probably not. But that's how I think. Uh, but anyway, I'm starting to get kind of like friggin' loopy again. So yeah, today, nothing. The hell with it. I'm gonna rest up and then I'm gonna hit it on tomorrow. And I gotta I gotta try to find a happy medium. I think doing during the summertime here, when it gets into summer, I'm gonna do sets of three three sets, uh, maybe four and some, but I'm not going to be doing these 5 sets of this and 4 sets of that because with the workload that I have, I mean, I don't see any chance of getting out of this 10 hours, even though, oh, no, 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 we're not going to do this indefinitely. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because if we're behind here. Okay, now we caught up here, but you're behind these people. Well, right there that says, yeah, we're going to be working 50 hours indefinitely. Because if we're behind, we're probably going to stay behind because they come in at the same time we come in and they leave an hour before we leave. Well, you're not going to get a lot of work out in an hour that you're going to be able to get up here to where you're ahead of them. And if you're ahead of them, well, they're going to want to keep you ahead of them. So even if you're behind or ahead of them, you're going to have to work 50-hour weeks. Yeah, I got a lot of work ahead of me if I want to get out of that place. A lot. And I hope I stick with it and I don't just die, you know? But man, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. But I know one thing. Tomorrow's going to be weightlifting, Tuesday and Thursday. So that's going to be my 3-day week this week. So there's almost 25 minutes. So I'm going to make my breakfast. I'm going to eat. And then I think groceries. That's it. Maybe do a little cleaning up. So I'll see you tomorrow.